Wandering around the world and trying to find my place in it. Thank God that I found it pretty close to home, because I couldn't have wandered my fat ass around this planet or this continent, not even this county, longer than I would have been exhausted and sat down and said, okay, I don't care where I belong. I hope this is it, because I'm not getting up. That's kind of the way I feel. I found my way to this chair. You found your way to your chair. Well, then let's have a conversation. Why not click it on and have a show? Welcome to the Bottom of the Glass Nation. That's because the truth is at the bottom of every glass. Just go look at every drunk guy in a bar. As soon as he gets to the bottom of the glass, he's drunk. And you know it, and then the truth comes out. Today is Tuesday, December 12th, where I live, about 6 o'clock Los Angeles time. I don't know where you are in the world, but welcome to the show. Let's start with the drink. Raise a glass. And I know, I will drink alone. I've drank alone many a night. I'll drink alone again tonight if I have to. I don't prefer it, and since I see I got a few friends in here, figured maybe we could raise a glass together. All right, here's one to get the show going. Let's kick this pig. Tongue-tied. I have not had nearly enough cocaine today. All right. No chaser. No training wheels, as my wife calls them. Funny how she only calls them training wheels when I'm around other people, when I'm around my friends. So just so you guys know, the lights are a little dimmer today. I didn't turn on the big side lights. I didn't want to do that. A little bit more of an intimate show, if you please, if you can see on the screen. Something you don't normally see, but every one of you who's on Patreon, every one of you who subscribes to Patreon, you got an email about half an hour ago letting you know what the show would be about, letting you know what was going to be on the show. So gave you a little bit of a heads up, gave you a little bit of a time to think about things, if you will. So what I'm going to do tonight is collectively, the proverbial we have collected emails over the past couple of years, always asking questions. And sometimes we can just answer them in an email, but it's normally things that people want answered on a show. They like, well, how'd you get started? What'd you do? Where are you from? How many kids? And a lot of it you guys already know. But I want to take one time. We're coming up on the end of the year. GenXTalks' birthday, its anniversary, comes up in the towards the end of January. So we're kind of in the home stretch for that. And that's what the meet and greet in Las Vegas is. That's what we're doing in Las Vegas, January 27th. We're all getting together. And that's a really fun time. This is the third time we've done it in a row. It gets bigger each year. It's a lot of fun to hang out. It's like a 3-day event. Now there's one main event, where we all hang out. It's like you buy a ticket, you go and you do. We got that. But there's 3 days of everybody just going, hey, let's go go-karting. Hey, let's go parachuting. Hey, let's go here. Let's go there. And there's groups of you guys that all get together, and then we all follow along, or some of us do. Some of us stay back and we drink, which is an activity in and of itself. Yes, it is. And it's a great weekend to just go and hang out and be and do at the place. Sometimes people just follow people around and watched. They didn't want to go go-karting, but they went there and watched everybody go-kart, took pictures. They didn't want to go indoor parachuting and see Josh Madness get stuck to the top of it with the big fan blowing him up because he's so skinny. People just went and took pictures, which I thought was great. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and how we got to this point at GenXTalks, how we even got to a third anniversary. So I thought I would open it up. I'm going to read a lot between the sheets tonight, plus I'm going to go a lot off of some random questions that you guys have asked. It's not going to be in chronological order. I'm not going to start by telling you the day I was born, the seas parted and the sun was brighter and everything it was wonderful. I won't start there and go all the way through. These will just bounce around by whatever you guys are asking, and I promise I will answer. So, now what you can't do is, because my wife is not here, she is upstairs, she is crashed out. For some reason, we both woke up at 3 in the morning, and she made it all day. I tried to crash out and get prepared for this program, for you fine folks. She did not. So when it came game time, she put my Jack Daniels down, and then she went upstairs and crashed out. The dog is sleeping on my side of the bed, and the lights are out, and that's it for her. So you can't give her PayPal stuff and have it go through. You can't be anything in PayPal tonight, because I never get it correctly. I always try to read it, and I don't do it right. I would love to accept PayPal donations tonight and be able to read them to you. Whatever you give me tonight, I'm going to have to read at a future date. That's the only way we're going to get around this. But tonight, if you do stuff in super chats, I'm going to read those first. If you have comments that the moderators put in between the sheets, I'm going to do those. There's no Facebook personal page tonight. We had a problem with the stream key. It's not taking it the way it usually does. So the kid found a way around it, but it was too late for tonight's show. All right. That's the introduction. That's what we're doing. In the sheets, in case you guys don't know, if there's people that are new to the program, to my left, your right, is a separate monitor. And the moderators, if you have something clever to say, you have a question you want to ask, they're going to copy and paste it there. Please don't write a paragraph. Don't write, 19 sentences and have just, if you have a question, what's your favorite color? That's a good question. And it's simple and it's short. It's to the point. It'll make it really easy for me to do my job, which I'm not even good at this job anyway. So the easier you can make it on me, the better. Thank you very much. And I will pour another glass. Now, before we get started here, I have no idea if the Sun Valley Fox is watching or not. The Sun Valley Fox has been part of the program for a while now, but you notice I'm not drinking out of my decanter. Did you know it's a bottle? And everyone's got a bottle. In fact, a lot of Americans have a decanter, but their decanters are full. My decanter's empty. Would you like to know why? Good. Glad you asked. Well, it's because when my mother-in-law passed away, who I love very much, she put in her will, sort of, on her own, with my help, that he was to take, my brother-in-law, the Sun Valley Fox, was to take a portion of his proceeds of her estate, and his job was to keep my decanter filled every week at his own personal expense, which isn't true. He's going to use the estate money, and there had to have been $36 a week in there, and it could have lasted for at least a few months. Do you know how many times he's filled my decanter? 0. He did graciously buy me a decanter one time, empty. It was great. It was nice. It was beautiful. It was probably expensive, and it was engraved, but it was empty. And I just want you guys to know the Sun Valley Fox refuses to abide by the wishes of his poor departed mother, my mother-in-law, who was a saint in her own right. So this is to Bima. This is to my mother-in-law, who's been gone a little over a year now. And I'm going to lower this drink half-mast for the man, the myth, the legend, who holds on to the first dime he ever made between his butt cheeks and will not fill this decanter, the Sun Valley Fox. To family, thank you guys. All right. That's 2 shots. Trippy Pineapple over there is giving me some clues. So let's take his advice right there. Let's see if I can do that. And we'll move that to right here. How's that go? That good for the jar? All right, we do have a new $2 hoard tonight. We'll see if anybody gets that. Let's see where we're at. Bum, 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 bum. Who's in? I can read. Now, listen, I can't read Rumble, and I can't read Facebook. I can read some of what's going on in YouTube, so I catch some of those things. Maybe it's just me. But when Laura presents the circling the wagons, the drink, and the kisses, the big red lips, I don't know why I saw that, but I did. Mary Math is also in there. Papa Smurf, Ron, Shannon Brigode. I got a feeling there's a way to pronounce that with some sort of French enunciation that I haven't figured out yet, but we'll learn. Heavy Hard Drive, Sandy Top Knots, Rule, Bob McKinley, Two Bear, Mrs. Four, swinging the big blue wrenches. But as much as I want to say, as much as I want to say that Two Bear and Mrs. Four Watton are doing their duties, swinging the big blue wrenches, you know who was not here at the beginning? Those two. Yeah, the Mod Squad was not here. You know who filled in? Trippy Dippy Pineapple. He was covering the entire thing until those two figured out what was going on. The alarm bells went off in their head. Their medication kicked in, and they raced over to their computers. But up until then, it was TDP. Trippy Dippy Pineapple all the way. So we thank TDP for stepping in when he did too. We welcome Mrs. Four Watton and Two Bear. Two Bear is our head of security here at GenXTalks. He's supposed to be head of security for me, but he follows my wife around everywhere like she's more valuable, like someone's going to attack her. Oh, whatever. And Mrs. Four Watton, lovely, classy, ever present in our comment section. She's wonderful to have around. She swings a big blue wrench with a smile on her face. When she bands you, when she puts you in the woodshed, she doesn't even raise her pulse, but she smiles the whole time. Seen it happen, been there. All right, let me jump in here between the sheets before we get to some of the questions. Tonight is question and answer. You can ask anything about GenXTalks, about the family, how we got here. That's what's going on. So if you guys leave because you're not interested, I'm okay with that. But those of you that stay, it's okay if you participate. You can ask a question or two. I'm kind of glad I don't have access to the Sun Valley Fox right now because he's so cheap he won't spend the dollar to be in the comment section. What he does is he text messages my wife, his sister, and then she asks me questions. She's not here. So all of his questions are falling on deaf ears. All the things he'd like to know, he cannot. All right. Insurmountable Cali Cat, member for 16 months. KGXT Studios level member at the very top. Good evening, Hanson. The most recent podcast was an absolute blast to watch. Curious question, if you could have a new puppy, what breed would you prefer? Well, if you guys remember, I had to put my dog Riley down. She was a German short-haired pointer, and she went sometime about a year ago, I guess now, and she was the best dog I think I've ever had. Now, we still have dogs here. We still have 3 dogs. We have Ranger, Riker, and Reagan. Reagan is a German Shepherd with bad hips, 15 years old. She's long past her sell-by date. And so she's not doing well. She's hanging in there, but her time is short. I think this will be her last winter if she even makes it through. And then we have to take care of my daughter's dog. Lady is coming back, and she'll be here for a few weeks. Maybe after we get to February and March, I might consider that, but I really don't want to bring another dog on right now into the family until we've thinned the herd a little bit. Another puppy would just annoy Reagan to no end. Reagan's old, and she would not want to put up with a puppy. That wouldn't be fair to her. So I'd get a German short-haired pointer, but it's not yet. It's not yet. And they're really hard to find. They're tough to find. Let's see here. Okay, so... all right, going back over here. We would have Top Notch Rule, member for 15 months. He's an extra. Hope you guys said hello to Top Notch Rule when his name came across the board. Shannon Brigaud, $2. Hello, handsome general and his sexy wife. Sorry, I have to fill the role of handsome and sexy tonight. I am. So I turned this up to about 7. So if you're sensing the handsomeness and the sexy all at the same time, remember, I can turn this down, but I can't turn it off. And when I need to, I turn it up to about 7. I want to cover both sexy and handsome tonight. So you get what you get, girls. Wheezy16. Shut up. I said that with a straight face. Wheezy16, member for 18 months, bottom of the Glass Nation. Wheezy been around a long time. I would say longer than 8 months if it was up to me to decide. Werewolf 2004, member for 10 months. KGXT Studios, top tier member. 2 more months and still hanging out on the top of the bus. Yeah, the bus. I got to tell you that, we had everybody turn in pictures. If you wanted to we're getting a cartoon drawing made. Do you guys remember the playbill for like Animal House where somebody cartooned it and you cartooned all the actors and, the big cheeks and the noses and the feet and they cartoon it and they drew a playbill, Animal House, and it was really, it stuck with me my whole life. When it came time to do the bus, we got a follower, a fan, a viewer who does cartooning. We probably had 3 or 4 choices. And she said she could do it. She showed some of her previous work, and I thought, okay, she could adapt this to a really long bus. Then Sammy Jo went around, and Sammy Jo's on staff here, and she got pictures from all of you. She emailed all of you for pictures, and then the pictures we got, we sent them to the artist and said, can you take these people, cartoon them? I don't care how their bodies look, but their faces need to, be cartoony similar, and put them on the bus. Now, we know Loud One is driving the bus. We know Christine Dvorak is up there with him fighting for the steering wheel or doing something. Everybody's like, Weezy said he's on the back of the bus. Is that Weezy that said that? Did I erase that? You guys erased that? Werewolf. Werewolf, he's on the top of the bus. So if he got his picture in, then he was on the top of the bus. And everybody was kind of getting their place on where they said they'd been, because it was a running joke for damn near 3 years now. So we turned everything in. We got the idea, and she said, okay, and then the price. It just... all of you would have to buy a printed copy of this for us to even cover the cost of what she was going to do. So I kindly said, hey, look, that's kind of not what we were looking for. A little bit too much money, and thank you anyway. Didn't mean to waste your time, but I didn't know it was going to be that much money. And then she wrote back and said, well, we can work within your budget, and that's just, so it's on hold. But I know that Sammy Jo tried to get some of you to send in your pictures. She contacted you in here. She contacted you in Discord. And some of you didn't send pictures. So don't be mad when you're not on the bus, because the bus is going to have a legend on who's where, so you can identify who's who by name. And I know we're doing a deck of cards, and like with this deck of cards, we did a whole deck of cards, which is 52 and 2 jokers, and Scott Royston's picture didn't come out good, and she emailed Scott Royston for another picture. So now I have to either put Scott's shitty picture up there, and it's not his picture shitty, but the cartoon version, we couldn't get it to come out right. Every different way we tried. Or I got to take him off and put someone else on, and then Scott's going to get all mad that he's not on the deck of cards, and I'm going to politely say, well, then you should have answered your emails to Sammy Joe, blah, 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 blah. The point is that when we try to put some things together that involve you guys, if you don't show up or you don't respond, don't be mad at us. We're doing the best we can. I mean, this thing's been going on for months. It's not like we just gave you guys one shot, one email. Anyway, so the bus pictures, it's kind of in progress, but it's kind of on hold. The deck of cards that has 52 of you members, I'm not going to tell you who made the jokers list, but there's 2 jokers on the cards. That's coming up, and that'll be for sale. And I'm not going to tell you who's on there. I'm not going to give you lists. If you want to know if you're on there, buy a deck of cards. Support the radio station. Oh, isn't that a cheap shot? All right, where was I? Sandy, hello, handsome. That's 2. General Merry Christmas. Oh, it's not a general Merry Christmas, not like Merry Christmas in general to all of you. This is your generic, basic Merry Christmas. It's just a general Merry Christmas to everybody. What she meant to say, what I read it wrong. Hello, handsome general, comma, Merry Christmas. Obi 5150, $4.99. It's my birthday tomorrow. 55 trips around the sun. You know that we talked about that. I didn't know that was going to be a thing. I don't know if I was drinking or whatever. I brought that up. That Hallmark should have, just say, yeah, Hallmark shouldn't have birthday cards. They should have trips around the sun card. Hey, good job, 33. Because celebrating being born isn't anything. It's no accomplishment. But you making it around the sun one more time. That's 33 trips around the sun. There should be a section for that. I just thought it blew over. I mean, me, I'm just drinking like you guys are, running my mouth like you guys are. And it's just, it's tough. And then all of a sudden I made that comment out there and just rambling. I made a comment this morning, really early in the morning. It was probably around the 3:30 time, if I remember right. Mrs. Fort Watton responded with, "No, you got it's in the Hallmark section, right next to the cards that are going around the planet." I had no idea that stuck in anybody's mind at all. I have no idea that anything I say sticks in anybody's mind ever. I just run my mouth. It was the most amazing thing. Every show I get done, my wife goes, "I can't believe people listen to you." I said, "I know, right?" She goes, "No, I can't believe the shit that comes out of your mouth. Where does it come from?" I said, "I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm a 12-year-old child. And this is just what I think of. I do apologize for being 12. So this led to today, my wife is actually making a card, a generic birthday card. And on the front of it, it's going to have the sun and the earth going around the sun. And it's going to say happy something on not birthday. No, not birthday. And on the inside, it'll have a paragraph where you fill in the number. So you can buy 10 cards from her and she can send them to you. And then hey, glad you made it around the sun blank times. It can be 15, it can be 60. Put whatever number you want in there. And it's, a little deal. And it's going to be geared towards that. So I know it won't sell very many. I think it's just kind of cool to have those things up on the website. So when we get that done, it's something she's going to put up there, and it'll be clever and it'll be witty, and then she'll print them out, and you guys can just buy as many as you want, and then fill them in. But I guarantee no one's going to understand what you're talking about. They're going to be like, what the fuck is around the sun? What do you mean? And then you can explain it to them, that their accomplishment of being born was nothing. But the fact that they traveled through space and made it around the sun, that's quite an accomplishment. India can't even put a rover on the moon, and here you made it around the sun. That's a pretty good accomplishment, if you ask me. So there will be cards at some point to commemorate that. I probably shouldn't have said that. My wife hates it. Don't talk about stuff that's going on the website for sale until we have it on the website for sale. And that's how she sounds. All right, stand by. I got to do something real quick here, or I will not make it through Let's see here. Got to contact. This is the most unprofessional thing you'll ever see me do. That's not true. You guys go to Vegas. You're going to see some really unprofessional accomplishments, as you did last year and the year before that. And you just have your cameras ready because it's really embarrassing. Is he on? Got it on for me. I should say please. I really have to work on saying please. All right, so let's see. All right, here we go. Back to the sheets. What do you find folks saying out there in radio and TV land? Wheezy Werewolf got that one. Sandy Hello Handsome got that one. Obi No Go, member for 21 months. KGXT Studios top tier member. Can't wait for the big red 2. It's not red. No. It's not a big red 2. Anybody who's in the comment section on YouTube, because we can't customize it on Rumble. We can't customize it on Facebook. We can't customize any of that. But on YouTube, we can. So if you see someone next to their name have the big red 1, that means they've made it around the block 1 year. That means they've had 12 months under their belt. We're actually so some people got it right away. Some people got it right on the anniversary. Now, what I got to tell you is that there is now no, not a big red 2. It's a blue 2, and that'll be the new one. When you see people, at some point, someone will be the first one to get a big blue 2, and the blue 2 is different than the red 1, and the blue 2 rhymes. The blue and 2. You see what I did there? So that's coming. So you won't get a big. Why are you here?
I had to get the maintenance company in here, make sure everything was working right. Called in?
Yeah, you did. That's what I texted. But you don't need to be on the program. You think the maintenance guys at Joe Rogan's, when they're fixing the heater and lights, they come in there with their utility belts and just walk by his?
Well, I'm sure he throws them $20 too. Okay?
Wait a minute. So because I don't pay you, you can crash the show whenever you want? That's your prerogative?
Yeah.
And you're eating what food? Little food I'm going to waste away to nothing.
I'm behind the...
You're behind the thing. Yeah, you're behind all of it. That's not right. All right. So can you leave now? Can I get back to my friends? I'm hanging out with my friends. Do I come and bother you when you're gaming with your friends? Yeah. Not even. Don't say yes. I do not. Not even a little bit. Okay. All right, that was the kid. He did come in to help out with the AC because it was getting a little hot and stuffy in here. The red light, the studio is on, so he did not have permission to pass until I deemed it so. For that moment, I was Gandalf. The red light was the bridge, and he passed. All right. Where was I? Let's see here. So the blue 2 is what's coming, just so you guys know. No-go 50, that'll be a big blue 2. Diane Capuno, what does the K stand for in KGXT radio station? Well, out here on the West Coast, all radio stations start with a K. KLOS, KMET, KIQQ, KROC. Every station out here, if you rate KCBS, on the West Coast, you have to have a K. And I think on the East Coast, it's W, isn't it? Like WNBC, WKRP in Cincinnati. Those are regional, so we had to be K, and it just fit. KGXT, it's 4 letters long. We were already GXT. So, Diane, do you see the brilliance there, how that came through? We had to do it that way, but I'm claiming brilliance here. I'm claiming intent. Good question. Now we're starting to get some questions. You can ask questions. If you're going to ask me something, let's get to it, because I'm not doing this again. Rowdy Bobby 18, member for 14 months, bottom of the Glass Nation. 14 months on this bus. Take a shot for me, General. All right. And then that kind of runs together. Justin Bennett, General, when's the next gaming stream going to be? Well, first of all, Rowdy Bobby said to take a drink. I can't leave Rowdy Bobby hanging. Rowdy Bobby 18 says take a drink. You must comply. As if you didn't know that. You knew that. So I'll drink, and then Justin, I got something for you. Okay. Justin, there's a good chance we might game tonight. Yeah. Because I was up at 3:30, did crash out for a little bit before here, so I'm ready to go. Plus, I drank my Super Chicken Secret Sauce. For those of you that know, you know. So I might be good to go. Tomash is in here, 6, whatever that is, that little symbol. The dear General, you are the king. No, sir, you are the king. Thank you for being over there in Israel. I'm sorry that you're going through what you went through. I'm sorry about your relatives. Some of them died. Some of them got hurt. But Tomash, we love you like a brother. And I promise you, we are all very aware that you stand a post over there for the bottom of the Glass Nation. You guard that eastern border for us, and we couldn't be more grateful. Those of you, when you see Tomash's name go by, just put up the Israeli flag. He's our guy over there. There's 2 guys over there, number 1, number 2. Tomash is our number 1 guy. Grizzly's number 2. And now you know that. So do that for me, would you? Bass hole fishing, best Christmas present ever. Did you see the short today? The kid did a question and answer. It was jokingly. If you guys saw the short today, best Christmas present. Oh, probably you meant received. The best Christmas present I ever received. I don't know if I should share. I won't. I don't know if I should share this. But if I don't go too deep, I think it'll still hold value. The best Christmas present I've ever received was on Christmas Eve many, many, many years ago, and it was forgiveness. I think that was the best present to this day. Nothing has matched. Because that's a gift. Forgiveness isn't a given. And I certainly didn't deserve it, as most of us don't. And I did get that on Christmas Eve, and I think that would be my answer. If that makes sense. Basil, hope that satisfies. You're looking for more salacious week. Ask it again. I'll give you something better. Christopher Sevick, General, have you ever been approached on playing Santa? Yes, I have. Well, you guys got to remember, I have not always been this fat. You guys got to remember, it was 4 years ago. I was working 4 years ago. I was working 12 and 16-hour days as a mechanic. I was not nearly this fat. I got this fat I probably reached this peak weight about 2.5 years ago or so. I have not been this big. You guys caught me. You guys got to know me as I was getting this big. You look at some of the very first videos, and I look really huge, and then I slimmed down, and then I got big again. You guys caught me right at that time. Being this fat is relatively new to me. I was very trim and fit, and I was a motherfucker for a long time, up until about 4 years ago. So I was always a big guy, but not this. This is fat. I was big and to be feared. Now I'm big and get out of his way before he lands on us fat. There's a difference. So yes, I've been approached. My family talks about it all the time. But once someone said, hey, you want to play Santa at the mall? And I said, no, I really don't. Now, you want me to play Santa in the back room at Spencer's for the ladies that are over 21? Absolutely. They can sit on my lap. We can talk about the first thing that pops up, and I would have a great time at Spencer's. Not a lot of ladies looking to sit on this guy's lap anymore. A787 Fiction, member for 19 months, KGXT Studios level member. What was your longest YouTube GXT live chat? Wow. For those of you who remember, not too long ago, we were doing 3 hours. But I was getting drunk at the end of the 3 hours. The staff would start calling my wife, going, "You need to get him off the goddamn motherfuckers in there." And I would drink, and I would go right over the edge because I could, and I was allowed to, and people let me. 3 hours was not an uncommon thing. Now, we have tried a 24-hour session once 2 years ago. Didn't make it. We made it like 16 hours. We tried to go 24 hours live stream. Didn't make it. Then the next year we tried in shifts. You know, I did the bulk of it, and then the kid did hours, and my wife did hours. We did a 24-hour stretch. I actually was able to obtain that because YouTube does not save streams that go longer than it's 12 hours. They won't do it. You can't even ask them for it. They won't give it to you. Weirdly, and by coincidence, one of you guys recorded the entire thing. When I got it back, it was over 20 gigs of information. We had to set up a special Dropbox style to handle. At that time, there was nothing that would handle 20 gigs, but I got it. I've skimmed through it. There are some of the most outrageous, naughty stories that should have never been told. Now, some of you still today can, not many, maybe there's 5 or 6 of you that can say you were there for some of that. Some of the staff we have now wasn't even around back then, but some of you were there. So 24 hours is the longest. I think the longest stretch I've ever done personally, I want to say in the 24-hour live stream that we did splitting shifts, I think the longest shift I pulled was 8 or 9 hours, if I remember right. I have to go back and look, but that's the longest one. Excellent question. Now that's a good question. His follow-up question, what were the stories that you can't tell? Jesse Piate, did you base your family after the great TV show 8 is Enough? Not on purpose. It wasn't a goal. I didn't tell my wife, all right, lock the bedroom door. We don't got enough kids yet. We still got to get to 8. It wasn't like that at all. But it's funny that, you know, we draw comparisons all the time with 8 is Enough was a big one, although that wasn't a super popular show. The Brady Bunch. My wife always brings up the Brady Bunch. How come I don't have a housekeeper? I go, you don't need a housekeeper. She's like, Mrs. Brady had 6 kids and a housekeeper. I've got 8. No housekeeper. I always used to say, well, it's because we have 8 kids, we can't afford a housekeeper. You get rid of 2 kids, you farm them out, we'll have enough money left over, you can have a housekeeper. So pick 2 kids and hire an Alice. And she didn't like that. But that's sort of true. We just couldn't afford it. Dragon Slayer Jade, when are the playing cards coming out? Not too far in the distant future. The playing cards I'm going to get with Sammy tomorrow and the next day, finalize it. We're just trying to figure out, like I told you, we had one guy that was giving us trouble with that because Scott Royston won't answer his goddamn emails. So we either got to pull his card and put somebody else in, or we got to get that other email from him with a different picture, and then we just move forward. So we just got to finalize that. Sammy Joe's in charge of that with me. We'll work on it in the next couple of days. And I want to tell you right now that we started down this road of the playing cards, and then she told me how much the playing cards were for us to get them. You know, we have to farm them out. And she's like, they're like $29 a deck or something for us. And I said, well, what if we buy more? What if we buy like, 50 decks? Can the price come down to like $13 or something? She's like, no, they don't give a shit. It's the whole price the whole time. So now I'm not sure what to do with them, because I was going to buy a bunch and then put them up for sale for you guys. But even if I sell them at cost, the cost of me buying them and shipping them to us and turning around and you guys buying them and shipping them to you, it's a stupid price. I mean, it's not even economical. It's kind of dumb. It's like, who would pay $50 for a deck of cards? It's just, I'm discouraged by it. So now I'm thinking that maybe what would be best is I'll buy some decks of cards and give them away as prizes. So I hate selling stuff to you guys that is outrageously stupid on price. It sounds tacky. It sounds dumb. It looks like, these fuckers, they're buying them by the thousands. They're only paying like $3 a deck, and now they're charging us $50 a deck. Fuck this guy and his family. They're overcharging. The capitalism is the problem in America. Hey, dipshit, Fun Fact Freddy, shut the fuck up. That is not what's going on. I would love to make a profit on everything we sold. You know why? Because it's time and money to get them made. Or it's time that my wife is in there making them. But she's of the same mentality. If we can make $3 or $4 on something, we sell it. I know we should be doing a lot more. I know the radio station could be further along. It's just heartbreaking when we're all just talking here. We're all getting along to all of a sudden turn business into how much money can I get out of you? It doesn't work that way. You guys pledge money and donate money when you see fit. I'm not going to try to rape and pillage. This isn't pirate GenXTalks. It's just GenXTalks. So the cards are coming out, but I don't know what to do with them. I really, really don't. I'm struggling with that. Once I get them in motion and I buy 10 decks, then I'll talk to you guys about it and see what you guys want to do. You guys are involved in this as much as I am. It was a great creative idea, and Sammy did a wonderful job. Sammy Joe put everything together, but now to finish it, it's like, do we go for that? It's just like the bus picture. We got pretty far in the bus picture, and I went, I'm not paying that much for a fucking picture. Here you guys a deck of cards. I'm not paying that much for a fucking deck of cards. I'm a cheap bastard. This is where marrying my wife, I'm a little too close to the Sun Valley Fox. He's rubbing off on me. And not in a good way. Cody Lawrence from Facebook says, hey, General, what's some of the best places you've ever visited and why? I've had 3 trips across the United States, mostly when I was younger and single or pretending to be single. And I think that I changed as I get older. I spent, in 1987, I spent 2 days outside of Amarillo, Texas, at a hobo village, at a train yard, just some train tracks in a hobo village right outside of Amarillo. And I stayed there for 2 days. And I got to tell you, I learned so much from these people. Some of them were truly homeless because they just fucked up their life and became homeless, as one does. Some of these guys had money. And they'd been living for years back there. Some of them, they'd all pull out their pictures. This was my wife. This was my house. This was us in Cancun. And I was like, what happens? I couldn't take it anymore, and I left. They walked away. I really couldn't believe how many people had walked away from their lives and just hidden in a hobo lifestyle. In a hobo village outside of Amarillo, Texas. I couldn't believe that. To me was one of the most interesting things I'd ever seen. And the stories that I'd listened to, and I just kept bringing in whiskey, kept bringing in hooch. I'd go find someone who'd sell me some and bring it back there and sit. And I didn't want to leave. I mean, I had to eventually, but I didn't want to. that was one. Now, as you get older, your views change on. Not that I wouldn't mind listening to stories, but when I took Gen Z kid to see the Grand Canyon, and I remember walking out of the car and walking over there and have him kind of turn around this corner and look, and I was watching his face. I wasn't looking at the Grand Canyon. I'd been there many times before, but to see the look on his face, I think that was one of the most priceless moments of my life, because we sat there for hours and I just talked and listened and stared at him. That was something incredible, because he just couldn't believe what he was seeing. He said it doesn't look real, it looks fake. It looks like a painting on a wall, like a tapestry that someone painted, and it's just hung out there, a couple 100 feet, and it's not real. And just was, for him to see that, there's a, now, was it the Grand Canyon? Yeah. Was it impressive? Of course. But when you ask me the places I've seen, the things I've done, I'll change it to that one. That ranks up there. But I also remember one time, the first time I was in, I've told this story before. I want to say I was on the east side of the Mississippi River, and I couldn't believe the Mississippi River was just impressive. I want to say, I thought I was in Kentucky, might have been Tennessee. Anyway, I saw a cardinal. There's these big, huge green trees and real vines. I'd never seen a real vine on a tree before. And a cardinal lands near me. I didn't know birds could be that vibrant a color. I vividly remember how red that bird was. I couldn't believe it. I had never seen something that color. We'd had blue jays and stuff when I was growing up, and I've been to the LA Zoo, to the Arboretum. You see different colored birds flying. Nothing like that. Nothing like that. It was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. And traveling around gave me a lot of appreciation, especially back east, for history and things that you just don't see in Los Angeles. Stuff you don't see in California. Not in the same way you see them out there. So that would be one. Steve Hooks, I guess if you don't donate money, your shit don't get rid on page whatever, then watching you for a year. Sorry, I can't afford to donate. Well, Steve Hooks, you got your comment read, and now you look like a pompous ass in front of everybody. I'll even make you look like a pompous ass twice. Steve Hooks, I guess if you don't donate money, your shit don't get rid, R-I-D, of on page whatever, then watching you for a year. Sorry, I can't donate. Well, Steve, you are donating. You're donating your time. If you've been watching for a year, that counts. That's something. We appreciate you. What I don't appreciate is you trying to call me out that if I don't read yours, it has something to do with money. Now pay attention. Class is in session for you. All right, Steve? I try to read as many comments as I can. I'm probably one of the only guys on live streams that reads comments. I try to do as much as I possibly can. The moderators try to give me as many as they can. But do I read the ones with money first? Abso-fucking-lutely. If some dude donates $5 of their hard-earned money, they don't have to give me shit. But if they donate into the cause, you don't think I'm going to reciprocate by trying to read their shit? The fuck's wrong with you? I appreciate everybody watching equally. I enjoy reading all of the comments at the same time equally. But yes, I'm going to go out of my way for people that are trying to go out of their way for me. That's common sense, dipshit. That isn't me being bought and paid for. That's called courtesy. What you just did was not courtesy. You were trying to, well, did you guys, if I don't have money, you're not going to read my, well, fuck. You know how many people do that? Yeah, quite a few. Quite a few. Now, we have more good viewers than bad. We have more good listeners than bad, but there's always a crybaby. You didn't read my comment. You know what? Here's a newsflash for you. There's sometimes people have donated money, and I didn't read the comment because I got to it too late. $50, and they had a comment, but the show was ending. I didn't get to the comment. You know what they didn't do? They didn't whine about it. They didn't cry about it. You know what they did do? They showed up the very next week. Now, you put that in your pipe and smoke it. I was going to drink this one to you, but I'm not. Nay, I say. What else we got? Two Bear. Member for 21 months, KGXT Studios level, and also senior staff member here. He wrote cheers. That's it. Two Bear. From the mind of Minolta, we get cheers. Well, then I guess I'll have to drink. Yeah. Michael Dawson, member for 19 months. He's an extra. Well, that one caught me off guard. Boy, that one's written so small. Sovereign Fighter General, I am adopted. I spent 3 months in the foster system. Why did you want to be a foster parent? I didn't. I did not want to be a foster parent. I started out wanting to adopt. I thought, let's adopt some kids, and when you go through the adoption process, and you're in the same classroom as foster parenting. There's many of the same classes, the same lectures, the same certifications at a state level that you go through. So when you're going through one, you're going through the other. While we were going through the adoption process, believe it or not, all of a sudden we knew there was this overwhelming need for foster parents, good foster parents doing a good thing. And at the last minute, I kind of switched. I switched my majors. I switched my major, as you say, and I said, we're not going to go for the adoption thing. When we finalize this and we get the certificate, let's finish out the classes for foster care, and that's what we did. And it worked into a position of adoption. We ended up adopting a sibling group of 3 from foster care, but that wasn't why we went in. It just, once you're in there, you see the need. We just couldn't say no, so we went down that road. Jeff Cox, Facebook, are you actually going to bowl? I don't know if I am or not. Maybe. I mean, just think about it. If I throw my back out bowling, do you know the amount of topless women that are going to have to massage my entire body to get me back into shape? I don't know if I can handle that. It's a true story. Scott Royston, $5. I don't know why, but I did not get the email on the photo, so I went ahead and sent Trippy Pineapple an email with 3 other photos to choose from. Now, there's a man who's getting after it. You guys said Scott couldn't get jiggy with it. He just did. He got jiggy with it. Sent some to TDP. We're good there. Christina Dorvac, member for 7 months, bottom of the Glass Nation. Good evening, handsome general. How much is the bus picture going to cost? Too much. I didn't bring up the cost directly. You're asking, so I will. But her work that she's done, this artist, and she sent me all the stuff. It's good. It's good stuff. But to do a custom, super long, 23 axle bus with everybody on it, intricately that way, she wanted $500. She wanted between $500 and $600, and I'm like, yeah, you can forget that $6. I'm just not doing that. So we kind of got to a $5, and I waited a few days, and I wrote her back and said, I just can't do it. I can't. There's so much going on with GenXTalks right now. If I pull $500 out of GenXTalks, either the radio station or the giveaways this month, or there's people that we're trying to help get to Las Vegas, that just seemed like such a stupid thing. I would hate to say someone who's asked me for some help getting to Las Vegas, I'd hate to say, you can't go to Las Vegas, but hey, I got a bus picture. In good conscience, I couldn't do this. That was all behind the scenes conversations and things in my head, and I just elected not to do it because of that. But, I even thought, well, if we get $500 and we sell $10 a picture, we could sell, we get 50 pictures and then 50 people, but then we break even and everybody's got, I went through the whole thing. And I finally told her, I said, look, it's out of the budget. Well, let's work with the budget, but no numbers ever came of working with the budget to see where we ended up for sure. So I just kind of let the conversation hang, just so you know. That since you asked, that's where it went. It just didn't seem like a good time, but I wasn't even going to bring that up, Christina, except you asked. Cody Lawrence, Facebook, what do you think about Denver's playoff stance? How far do you think they will go? They won't. First round. I know it's hard work, and they finally got a rhythm, and they're playing as a team. The locker room issues are all gone, but I just don't think the Broncos can go deep. Not this year. Brian Ivany, General, do you have any future plans for something like the Truth whiskey glasses? Yes, we do. We've actually got a guy in town who can make them now, and I've bought some of the same style glasses. I showed him what we did. Yeah, there's another series coming out, but probably not till February. A lot of people have expenses this month. Radio stations trying to get online. The Vegas trip's coming up. By spring, we should have another glass to match all the glasses you guys have been buying. You guys, now some of you have a set, and we're going to do the same style, the same glass, the same thing, and something new on there. I think we're on Series 4 now, if you count. Series 1 had 2 versions, A and B, and I think we did a 2 and a 3. I think we're on 4 now, but we're going to get up to 6, a set of 6. That's where we will end up. But you notice we don't put out merchandise all the time. It's just when something comes up or it's funny. But you are right to ask, Brian. It's coming. GX Patrick, $5 of the first of the ones that have come and gone. Who do you miss the most and the least? Are you talking about members in here? because it's hard to say. Some members you don't realize they're gone for a while because I don't see every name that's gone through there. As far as staff goes, I miss Allie from Boston a ton. We talked on the phone the other day. There was so much that Allie and I did together on GenXTalks in the beginning. You know, we shouldered so much of it ourselves, even before the kid piled on his stuff, even before my wife piled on stuff on her. Allie and I really held a lot of this together for the beginning year and a half. So I think about her a lot. We talk on the phone once in a while, but she's one I missed. There's some people that I don't understand where they went, but I'm also like this guy who did the American flag behind me, Nosterex. He made that thing by hand. Took him like 70 hours to make it. He put it in his car. He drove it 2,000 miles, handed it to me in person, shook my hand, and then within 3 months he was gone. Now, I heard rumor that something happened to him, you know, medical or car accident. I didn't hear the details, but you think about things like that when people come and go, and you think about where they've been. And I'm pretty conscious. Like, I just bumped into an old text from Disney Kid, and I go, oh shit, I haven't heard from him. Texted him, everything's fine. But there's so many people, there's so many fans, there's so many followers that the things that stick out in my head, all of a sudden, I'm like a squirrel that heard a noise. And I think of someone and go, wonder what happened to them. Not everybody always knows, and it's really hard to keep track. But there's a few. There's a few that are gone that I'm glad they're just fucking gone. They were just, and I will never tell you their names, but there are people that were just more of a hassle, you know, than they were worth. It was like babysitting. It's like, oh my God, grow the fuck up, you know. And some of those, this goes back 3 years. But there's some fans that you just look at them like, it's okay, man, you're cool and all, but this is not working for me. And so when they go, you're kind of like relieved. But there's more than a handful. I bet if I sat down, I could probably think of 30 people that I wish I knew what happened to them. RJG was one. RJG disappeared. I mean, RJG was in here all the time. He had made so much cool shit for us around here in drawings and paintings and graphs and stuff, and then disappeared. And finally we figured out he was in some sort of an accident. And it was like, holy shit. I mean, that's the stuff you're glad that they're still alive, and you're glad that they didn't leave because they hate you. But at the same time, you're like, oh my God, I'm not happy that happened to you. You don't want to hear about stuff like that. So, GS Patrick said, yes, members. That's what I thought. Christine Dvorak, $500. What? Why wouldn't that have popped up on my screen? Oh my God, she did it. It's there on my screen. Christina Dvorak, $500. Let's get the picture. You did not have to do that, dear. Christina, I'm gonna drink to you right now, sweetheart. You come up with the dollar amounts at the most weirdest times. I think you're related to Mrs. Fort Watton sometimes, and Loud One. That's what I think. I think there's a trifecta. I think you guys are all holding hands in a triangle one time, going 1, 2, 3, rock, paper, scissors. Whose turn is it to make the general happy? Because see this? I am smiling. My mustache is just really heavy. I'm sure you understand. Oh, well, boys, meat's back on the menu. That's a nice pull for me, but what I mean by that is Christina Dvorak has made I'm going to have to write a letter, make it happen again. Well done. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that, Christina. This is, it was very nice of you. It was very nice of you. After you said, are you coming to Vegas, Christina? Are you on the list for coming? Because you need to. You need to be there. You've been such an integral part of this stuff with your comments, your presence, and the donations over the past couple of years. Everybody knows who you are. You got to show up in Las Vegas, please. Disney Mama Sammy Joe, member for 16 months. KGXT Studios member. Can't wait for Vegas. Love you, handsome. Sammy Joe, are we going on another date? Do we pick up where the last date ended? Or do we start over? I need to know what's going on. What are the rules? Kevin Grimes, member for 20 months, bottom of the Glass Nation level member. Thank you, Kevin. General, bottom of the glass, BOTG. General, I'm assuming this comes from Kevin. General, BOTGNY, yes, sir. Is there a plan for GXT when Briggs moves out and begins his adult journey? Yeah, there is actually. He won't be out for a couple years. He's got some schooling to do before he gets his basics down at the community college before he transfers to Fresno State, which is currently his goal. And we do have plans. I don't want to share them with you though, because they're fluid and they keep changing. But it's everything from what we're going to do just with the radio station and pull back Gen X Talks a little bit. Part of it, he wants to come home and just film stuff and then try to get them posted before he goes back, because he'd be close enough to do so. But part of it is those of you who watch the studio being built, and there is 300 pictures at GenXTalks.com. Scroll to the bottom, thing says studio. It shows how the studio got built all along the way. And this is mobile. This is not a permanent, it's not on a permanent foundation. It is one solid on a metal frame. We could pick this thing up, put it on a trailer, and if we decide to buy some property out in the middle of the desert and live out there, the studio could go right along with it. We've had a lot of plans, but rest assured, none of them include leaving. None of them include stopping. And now that Christine Dvorak we got a bus picture, we can't. We have a bus picture. We got to be able to hang the picture up and view the picture for a couple years. So she's locked us all in inadvertently. Christine Dvorak locked us all in for at least a couple more years. All right. Theo Van Schladwick. Wow. At Facebook, do you have any advice for depression? I am really struggling with it. My mind is in a dark place. Theo, I'm going to give you the same advice that I give to everybody, and surprisingly, recently, especially in the holidays, this has come up. If you know where our podcast is, go listen to episode 30, because that's my problem with depression. That was my problem with suicide. That was one of the podcasts that I did by myself a long time ago. And I probably have more email responses about that one than any other. And then Two Bear, if you guys know Two Bear at GenXTalks.com. Two Bear is a guy, when he finds out you need help, he doesn't let go. Now, Two Bear's not over on Facebook right now. Two Bear's a moderator on Facebook, but his duties tonight are on YouTube. But if you email him, Two Bear at GenXTalks.com, or you find him roaming around because sometimes he can go over to Facebook and find you in there. That's a guy that doesn't let go. He cares about the souls of humanity more than anybody I've met in many years. And he does try to help and follows up. He's that guy. So if you got a question in that aspect of what to do, how to think, I can give you some words. And like I said, episode 30 is really quite something. But Two Bear's the guy who does, he pounds the heads of the nails in with the hammer. He does the hard work afterwards. I'd encourage you to talk to him. I'm not trying to make light of the situation, but he's the guy, just so you know. All right, Joseph Liliberte, member for 7 months, bottom of the glass nation. The police chief from Brooklyn, 99, has died at 61. I did not know that. Joseph, I'll have to look that up after the show's over. Cody Lawrence, what's your best life advice as a young father just getting started? Cody, there is millions of pieces of advice from millions of people all over the planet. And I could give you advice for being a father at different ages of the child. But I will tell you the most important thing I've learned after raising 32 children. I will tell you this. The greatest gift a father can give his children is to love their mother openly. Did you hear me? The greatest gift a father can give his children is to love their mother openly. That's my suggestion. You want to do something along that line? If you practice that day in and day out, a lot of other things will fall into place. Yes, you're going to work hard. Yes, you're going to be a good provider. Yes, you're going to be fair with your children. Yes, you are going to protect your family. But once that framework is established and everybody begins to interact with each other, love their mother as hard as you can, as much as you can, and openly. Show them that. I know it sounds trivial. It came from a dude much wiser than me, I promise you. I'm stealing it from this guy, and he was brilliant, and he was right. I should have started that earlier in life, but I'm not wrong because he's not wrong. All right. Mrs. Fort Watt, member for 1 year, gifted 5 Gen X Talks memberships. Valerie Walker, Donna SpongeBob, Divergent Nodes, Bruce M., and Chipmunk. You guys can all now, after the program, go take a peek behind the curtain. If you go to the YouTube community section of Gen X Talks, 3 years of cool stuff, including what just popped up. Yeah, including the silencer argument from the podcast. It's there, carried over. Stupid wife videotape. Insurmountable Cali Cat, is Sweets or Sammy the $2 whore? No. Sweets and Sammy is not the $2 whore. I will give you a hint. The $2 whore is a personal friend of mine. And she is one of the ones that I follow her work, her comments in Discord more than any other woman. And that even includes the booby pictures I get. No. This gets more comments. Yeah, now you can figure it out. Josh Maddox, he's $4.99. Love you, nation. Don't be afraid to come see us on Rumble. I hope to see you in Vegas. Best ever bar. Now, you know what that means when Josh Maddox, who is on staff and a moderator here, you know what it means when he's over on Rumble saying, don't be afraid to come to Rumble, because nobody's on Rumble. You got to remember, Josh, tonight's topic is not going to be an attention getter. No one has asked me for any stories that are going to run really deep. So, people have been asking some superficial stuff, so I've been answering it in the way I feel best. But just so you know, this isn't something that's going to be gripping. This is almost like a members-only type of conversation. It really is. The only reason I didn't do it is because there's some people that aren't members that would like to be members, and they would like to be part of it too. So I didn't just make it a members only thread. But that's kind of the vibe, my man. Mrs. Fort Watton, $20. I want to see the tip jar change. You want to see the tip jar change, KGXT? Well, I don't know what you mean by change. Someone's going to have to drop. If someone drops in $25 into that trip jar, the blue diamonds will come in and explode everything. You empty that tip jar. Because if you guys see the tip jar is over here. Look on your screen right here. This is the tip jar. Did you like that? That's odd. Yeah, I got it. The tip jar is full of Mrs. Fort Watton's perfectly ass-shaped peaches. Uh-oh. Here comes her $22. She did 22. Here comes, I told you. Watch. Look. See? Now, there's something I can do. I don't know if I can do this right now. Let me try to do it right now. Give me C. Let's do this. What kind of a tip jar would Mrs. Fort Watton fancy? I bet one like that. I bet a tip jar like that would do go. Let's see if I can do that. Let's see if that changed anything. Sometimes I'm able to. And the tip jar's back. And it's getting full again there. Mrs. Fort Watton, is that a little classier for you? Is that a little bit? I know Mrs. Fort Watton sitting on her front porch out in the backwoods of Tennessee right now as we speak. She got an old mason jar from 1872 filled with peach hooch. But I just thought for a second there I'd put in something a little classier for her. See, look, I can almost even hold it like that. Look at me. Look at me right there. See me holding that? Oh, I got to hold it correctly. You know, when you do that, it's a pinky out. When you do that stuff, pinky out when you're holding those jars like that. I'm not sure if that's what you meant, but I did it anyway. All right. Dom and Channel Doc said I have to give up pork. I said I'm not giving up bacon. They said I could eat turkey bacon. I said, hell no. It tastes foul. Oh, that was a dumb joke. You know, Dom and Channel, see, that's the one that Low Torque would tell. That's a Low Torque joke. Loud one, $5. Evening, everyone. Sitting at home next to my beautiful wife. Drink up, gentlemen. Have one for me. Chush, member for 15 months. Bottom of the Glass Nation. Loud one is driving me nuts. Did you catch that? Loud one is like, I'm home with my beautiful wife. Sitting next to her. Please have a drink for me. The next comment I get is from his wife saying, he's here driving me fucking nuts. Both statements are true. He is there with his beautiful wife. I guarantee he's driving her fucking nuts. Again, Loud one, I told you, she's used to being a truck driver on the road. You want to stay home? I don't know that she likes you that much. Buddy, you're my pal and I love you. I don't know that she likes you that much. She may tell you, get back in that truck and go make mama some money. And also get out of my house for a little while. I'm just telling you. Loud one, I love you. I've been around you. But I know Chush, She's not wrong on that. This one's the Loud one and Chush. They just bought some property out there in Oklahoma. They're just getting ready to start their lives for real. Boots on the ground with each other. No more trucking for a while. It's going to be good. Papa Smurf Ron. Papa Smurf Ron. Rent for 9 months. Bottom of the Glass Nation. Lionheart. Oh, well, if you're asking, Lionheart is no longer on staff. He was a great part of the GenXTalks community. He was a great member of staff. And the work he did in Discord, we'd never find anybody that could replace his level of commitment inside of Discord. So we will be a lesser place without him. But Lionheart is no longer on staff. Ark Survival Facebook. Well, I love the show, bro. Please say hi to all the way from Chihuahua, Mexico. Seriously, my man. That's far out, man. I dig when people are across the borders and they say something. Usually we get some world show perspective on that, but I'm glad you chimed in. Randy Kutzman, is Gen X Mom going to do a non-holiday ornament that we can use the rest of the year? I don't think she's ever even considered that. I'll have to bring that up, Randy. That's an interesting point. I think 3 years we've only done ornaments around Christmas time. That's a good point. Loud one, $5 PayPal sent. Loud one, PayPal sent Gen X Talks $5 through PayPal. Loud one, my man. The Loud one's going to support the program, even when he's broke, even when the IRS is knocking on his door, even when his wife is threatening alimony. That dude's going to reach into his pocket and give $5. That's a true story. He loves it that much. Just a tip, $5. How mad is Gen X Mom that she is no longer the only woman in the top 10 of Pigskin Pick'em? Yep, I'm in the top 10 now too. Well, she doesn't look sideways, Tiff. I think you're tied with her for 10th. I think there's 7 people tied for 10th. She doesn't look sideways at the crowd around her. You know where she's looking? She looks all the way to number 1. The season isn't over. There's some football left, and she's going for number 1. By the way, Dr. McDreamy actually was out here at the fire pit with me a little over a week ago, and he brought up an interesting thing, that we should have a trophy, a big Gen X Talks trophy, and every year the winner gets their name engraved on it, and then the next year, the next year. So eventually you got 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 years of names as the number 1 guy from Pigskin Pick'em Gen X Talks. And I think it's not a coincidence that he brought up that suggestion because he's in first place. That's true. Sammy Joe says she wants another date. Well, you know, I have certain expectations, Sammy Joe, on a second date. The first one, I can be a gentleman, which I was. But the second date, I've got some expectations, and they're pretty steep, sweetheart. You better be careful what you ask for. Christine Dvorak, I'm sorry I won't be able to make it to Vegas, but I want to try to make it to your next barbecue. Then I'll have a barbecue tomorrow, Christina. If that's what it's going to, then fine. Tomorrow, hey, everybody, there's a barbecue at my house tomorrow. Christina, I'll see you there. It's just that, it's that simple. If that's what it's going to take, you know when you should come out? We should do a barbecue right about the time that Two Bear puts on his big Route 66 car show, so that we could do the car show on one day and the barbecue on another, right? Kind of in the same. So if people come out for his car show, then we can all just move over to the barbecue. Wouldn't that be cool to do? We can't do it on the same day, but that would be badass. I think that would be cool. All right, Christina, if you're going to be at the next barbecue, then it's tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow around 6, okay? And you can stay here if you want to. The house is pretty empty right now. Daniel Todd, Facebook, Gen X Talks. If I donate $12, will you promise to never read that asshole who bitched about not reading them? Yes, Daniel Todd, if you donate $12, I will never read that fucker's name again as long as time exists. That's the kind. Now, maybe it's because I've been drinking and doing shots, but that's the interaction that's fucking funny. I know it's not mainstream. I know we lose viewers tonight. I know instead of having 300 or 400 people on each channel, we're going to end up with 12. But it's 12 dudes like Daniel Todd. They get it. That's the funny part, man. That's the interaction. Oh, for Christ's sake. Heavy Hard Drive member for 2 months. Bottom of the Glass Nation. What's your favorite memes in Discord right now? Show them if you can. If not, I can't. I can't show anything. I can't show you a picture. The kid can. He knows how to bring stuff in live. I have to load what I'm going to talk about ahead of time. It takes me a long time. I have to caption everything, center all the pictures, rearrange the order. A good show prep for me. You guys see me at 6 o'clock sliding in sideways and with my hair on fire. But the truth is, even though that's what's happening, because I'm usually running out to go to the bathroom before I get going here, it takes about 2 hours to show prep. To do it right, to get the pictures, to write the notes, to get a book of lies. It does derail a little bit, but usually a good show takes about 2 hours to get going. I have to prep everything. The kid can bring something in on the fly. I've seen him do it. You guys bring up something, he Googles it and drags the picture in. The next thing you know, you guys are all talking about it. I just can't do that. But I will tell you on Discord, I'm very disappointed in your memes. The meme thread in there in Discord, for those of you who don't know, Discord is just Gen X Talks chat rooms. It's our server. It's our chat rooms. It's our platform. The kid runs it. Trippy Pineapple and Sammy Joe do a lot of work in there too. But it's just chat rooms. You just talk about, if you want to talk about cars, there's one for cars. There's one for hobbies. There's one for food. And you just talk about the normal stuff in there that you want to talk about with like-minded people. So it's you guys remember the old days of chat rooms back in the day when the internet was invented? Thank you, Al Gore. That's what it is. That's what we talk about. So in that context, the meme thread, I steal all the memes and go put them over on Twitter. But if you guys don't give me some good shit, I have nothing to post. The kid has nothing to post. We rely on you pretty heavy. Thank God Mike Dawson is in there, although Trucker Mike Dawson been putting up some pretty raunchy stuff I cannot put on Twitter. It's really not related to Gen X. It's just the most hardcore funny. It's funny, but I can send it to my wife and she laughs, but we can't reuse them. Now, the only reason we have the Discord meme server is for selfish purposes. You guys put up stuff, I steal them, the kid steals them, and we put them up in other places and pretend that we found them somewhere. If you guys don't understand that we are mining and harvesting memes from you fine folk, then what are we doing here? Why do we even have a Discord server? It's all I want to know. Mrs. 41, $22 movement from the jar. She got it. I saw it go through. KG, remember for 1 year, $2 whore is Tori Randolph. KG, did your wife tell you that? Did your wife tell you what? Did Mrs. T tell you what was going? Because you wouldn't have known that, KG. KG, if you pulled that out of your ass, yes, Tori Randolph is the $2 whore, and she has been a friend of mine since she was 12 years old. I have known Tori almost her entire life. So, yes, Tori Randolph is the $2 whore tonight. Loud one, $5. $2 hoe is Tori Randolph. Yeah, but according to the sheets over here, you were second, loud one, not first. Phoenix Commissar, General, how about you recount the story of when you first met me, both in Discord and in Vegas? I don't remember when I first met you in Discord, Marcus. I could probably be refreshed on that, but I damn well know when I met you in person. Phoenix Common Star, I met him in Las Vegas. I think my wife had actually been sitting talking with him for a while before I was introduced, and you were not at all what I thought. Because I had been seeing you in Discord and video chat rooms, and we'd all been talking as a group. But you walk up to this guy he's a voice actor. You walk up to a guy who can play any role on the planet. He can change his voice to match anything. And he's got this deep baritone voice when you listen to him over situations like this. And then when you walk up to Marcus, he's this unassuming gentleman. And he's polite. And he's thoughtful. And he's funny. He just took a little bit to open up. But I tell you, almost a more wonderful human being I've never met. And I'm upset that he's not coming this year, but I'm grateful that I had the chance to meet him in person. My life is definitely better now that he's in it. So you want me to how I met you? I remember that specifically. I remember the bar we were all in. I remember where we were all sitting or standing. I do. Daniel Todd, hey, General, adoption story from Petty Officer. Myself and the woman who became my first wife, we're in a position where we put our son up for adoption. We made the best decision in our lives for that. He contacted us both about 10 years ago. He is a fantastic father of 3 beautiful girls and is the captain of a ferry in southern Missouri and expanding his skill set to be a riverboat captain where he was a first mate for 8 years. Now, see, he has 2 farms and his family rocks. Giving up a child for adoption is got to be one of the hardest decisions. It's going to tear you apart for the rest of your life, no matter what you do, no matter how it plays out. But you want to talk about people that are selfless? Those are people that make a conscious decision to do something for the betterment of a child. And I know there's people, I've gotten arguments. I wasn't going to share this, but I've gotten arguments. A guy worked for me about 12 years ago, and he said, well, we may live under a bridge in a tent, and my children may not have shoes, but we're together and we're a family. Was that the best thing for those kids? Was family above all else what was best for those kids? I will tell you now, watching how they grew up, and it was not. They're fucked up kids. The parents are divorced. It was just an ongoing series of those mistakes. Now, you want to tell me you're living under a bridge in a tent for a month while you get your shit together. That's one thing, but that can't be a lifestyle, and you can't present it as good for the children just because you're together. Then comes along Daniel Todd, who says he made a decision and stuck with it. And even though it probably still hurts to this day, look how proud he became. Look how great that child became. Has his own family, has his own career. tough decision to make. It's not always the right decision to give up for adoption. It's not always the right decision to keep them no matter what. It's a gamble. You make the best decision you can at the time. And I'm very happy that Daniel Todd even chose to say that, because so many people would feel guilty and horrible of the judgment that assholes are going to heap upon them for even saying that he willingly gave up a child for adoption. No, I'm not one of those guys. You don't know his circumstances completely. Neither do I. But I'm proud of the way things worked out. So there. If you don't like me, hang up. All right. Mary Loterbauer, Facebook. My husband is going on 1 year of cancer-free this month. I promise after the first of next year, I'll get a membership and send what I can. Medical bills. Ooh, don't I know. But I have the best gift ever. He is here with me. Yes, you do. Don't ever worry about sending stuff here to donate for just your time. If you just have time to spend with us, then we appreciate it. Everyone does. Thank you for joining in for that. That it means the world that you're here. It really does. So thank you for doing that. And if you're worried about cancer, my wife is 10 years cancer-free. And the cancer podcast, turns out we did almost 2 hours, and we're about a third of the way through the story. And my wife was crying the whole time. Marcy Zavala was crying the whole time. Dr. McDreamy and I were just muttering through as best we could. And I finally called it. I shut it off. I've got it recorded. I haven't edited it yet. And absolutely one of the most powerful podcasts we will ever do, because there were so many things in it that are just unbelievable. And recounting all of it, we remembered even more details. It's amazing. It really is. So those of you that have been asking for the leukemia story for over 2 years now, 2 years we've been promising to sit down and do it. We're going to. And we finished the first part. We got to get Dr. McDreamy. He said he'd come back down with his wife, spend a weekend here with us at the house. We'll do part 2 and part 3, try to get it all wrapped up. But that's going to be one for the record books. It really will be. Nightbot, member for 16 months. He's an extra. Thank you, Nightbot, for sticking around. Marcy Zavala. Dr. McDreamy is watching. Now, that would have been good information to know at the beginning of the program. You guys are watching my diet. You guys are watching my exercise. Just to clarify, this is apple juice, or it's iced tea. It's no. It's not alcohol. I'm lying. This is full of. This is not hooch. In fact, the only reason I'm drinking so much of it is because it's just iced tea with sugar in it. It's the only thing I'd say. I shouldn't have had sugar, but I want to come clean right now and let you guys know I'm not drinking Jack Daniels. No. Not when my doctor's watching. You can't have that. Although Dr. McDreamy will be the first one to raise a glass with me in the backyard. More than once, and he did. He got drunk with me, I got drunk with him, and everybody laughed at us. That's the true story. Him and Dr. Doubleby were out there, and you know who wasn't drunk that night? Was Gen X mom. Mama X was out there just laughing at the stories, completely sober, filming everything. And bitch. Again, Marcy, information you could have sent to my phone hours ago. Rod Axum, late to the game. Is the radio station going to be local to your area or live online? Rod, it's going to be live online. The whole world is going to be Radio Free America. KGXT is going to be out there for everybody. Scott Royston, member for 14 months. Bottom of the Glass Nation. Love you, GenXTalks. Handsome General. And Bottom of the Glass Nation. Now, I'm not sure how many handsome generals I've got. Got to be 5 or 6. We can continue the program. Loud One, member for 1 year, $22. Just was told not checking PayPal. I can't. I don't know how to check PayPal. I don't have a way to do it correctly on my phone. We've tried that before, and it just ends up being a lot of dead air, and not the good kind you're used to on the big shows. So let me continue with Loud One, member for 1 year, $22. Just was told not checking PayPal. Just to let you know, Shush and I sent $500 via PayPal for the bus pick. Now you've done it. See, you and Christina fighting over that steering wheel. You guys, the first 2 pictures I sent to this artist were of you two. I said, Loud One's driving, but I want her hitting him over the head with vice grips or a steering wheel or something. That's actually going to take, those 2 things combined are going to help us with the bus picture and the frames that go along with it, to buy some stuff to get it ready to get sent out, and the deck of cards too. That's going to help out a ton. You guys have, unselfishly, again, you guys have just pushed those 2 categories I admittedly, I have to pull back some stuff. And plus, by you guys doing that, now we've made it easier to help other people get to Las Vegas. There's a people that said, hey, I'm a couple $100 short. Hey, I'm a plane ticket shy. We're doing what we can to help those people get there. So you guys have just not only furthered these things down the road, but now you've freed up some of that. We can push it in the other direction. So you see how family works? You see how this comes together? Yeah. You see how none of this had to do with the Sun Valley Fox? That cheap bastard. Anyway, so what I'm saying, Loud one, $5. That jar sucks. It doesn't empty. I could empty the jar, but you guys have packed it. Look at Loud One's there right now. Packing. Look at. Watch this. Mrs. Fort Watton's perfect ass shaped peach is just going to bounce right off. All right. Let me look. Gimme see, as they say in Los Angeles. Gimme see. Gimme see the jar. All right. Boom. See if that works right there. All right. The light is green. The trap is clean. And the jar is empty. Are we happy now? I hope we are. Hydrate. I did. I got the water. I'm just not doing it on camera. I look like a little fat kid. All right. All right. Looks like we're done with the sheets. Some of the questions that you guys can erase all the ones that we've done in the sheets. Some of the questions we get over the years is how long have my wife and I really known each other? Intimately, like since 5 years old. Same elementary school, same junior high, same high school, absolutely knew each other. When you go to school, 17 or 16 years with a person, you know them. Sometimes you're in our 5th and 6th grade class pictures. We're in the same picture. We're standing just a few kids apart from each other. We've known each other our whole lives. Our families have known each other our whole lives. Our lives, even when we weren't dating, weren't married, weren't anything, our lives, they still crossed paths. We were still doing the same places at the same events and the same things many, many, many times. And our families all knew each other. So they were all working and going and traveling and doing things at the same stores in this small town. And they all knew who each other were back to the 40s and 50s. That's how far back this community goes. That was one of the questions. The other question we get all the time that you guys wrote down was, how did GenXTalks get to where it's at? That's a long story. That's a long story that involves all the things that we did right, that we did wrong, all of the help that you guys have given us along the way, not just financially, given money here and there, but there's been decisions and things that I have personally made in my life and through GenXTalks that have been shaped by you guys. You guys think you don't have any influence and sway over me. You guys think that, and it's not money. It's not like, well, here's $100, do what I tell you. No, I don't respond to that at all. But when someone comes to me with counsel and says, hey, the things you were saying, how about this? Did you ever think of that? And I'm like, oh, shit, I didn't think about that. You guys have influenced the way that I function in all of this quite a bit over the past 3 years. And anybody who is dead set, and this goes for everybody in America, there's so many dead set on how they feel about abortion and the Democrats and Republicans and the border wall and taxes. You guys, everything in the country gets set. And it's like, what? How long have you felt that way? Oh, I've had my feelings since I was 33 years old. I'm not changing it. Got exactly what's going on. And fuck these guys. These guys are cool and these guys are assholes. And this is the way the world works. So at 33, you knew everything. You didn't learn one thing after 33, or you were unwilling to? Because I've learned a lot in my 30s. I learned a lot in my 40s. I'm halfway through my 50s. I'm still learning stuff. So all of you out there that are stuck in your ways, that you don't want to hear, if you hate Trump, you don't want to hear good things about him. Nope, you just stay. Nope, don't matter what you say, I'm stuck. If you hate Biden, you don't want to hear anything good about Biden. He could never do anything good. Everything is bad. You guys are stuck in your ways. And you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong to not have a mindset that is open to other suggestions, that is open to thoughts that you need to process, because you don't know everything. You want to pretend you do. It's very easy once you get to that point to go, nope, don't need to hear it anymore. Well, I came to talk to you today about the Book of Mormon. Fuck the Mormons. I did Mormons wrong. That's it. You don't know that. Have you studied it? Or you just, that's not for me. Religion not my thing. Pluto's not bad. Pluto's a planet. Fuck you. Fuck Neil deGrasse Tyson. Pluto's a planet. Is it? Everybody gets stuck in their ways. You almost get proud to be that way, and you won't change. When I tell you the statement that I get more from you guys than you get from me, none of you believe it. But it's true. It's absolutely true. There's more. There's stuff that we get asked all the time. Let's see. Brendan Afson, hooch. I thought my dad was the only person who used that term. Thanks for making my evening. Blessings to y'all from this Utah granny. Well, Brenda, yeah, hooch. Brenda, some Mormon hooch coming your way. Drink another one to Utah hooch. Here it is. Michael Dawson, what was Gen X Mom's nickname in high school? We covered this. She was so upset that she didn't have a nickname. I don't remember her ever having a nickname. Ever. Now, I've got a nickname for her. I call her Jules. And everybody goes, well, her name's Julie. Her real name's Julie. He calls her Jules. So we know what. We won't tell anybody, but that's her name is Julie. No, I call her Jewel because she is the jewel of my eye. She is the jewel of my life. I have a tattoo on my shoulder with her name, and the tail end of her name is a tail that goes and holds a diamond, and the diamond is the jewel, and I call her Jewel. So her name is not Julie. Some of you know her name. Prefer you not brag about it and say it in the comment section. Don't be a dick. If you know, it's kind of personal information. It's not super secret, but, you know, just don't. Anybody who writes her name in the comment section bragging that they know, yeah, you're a fuck up. You're kind of a fucktard. Don't do that. However, she's not Julie, but she is Jules because she's, and I got that from a movie. One of my favorite movie scenes about a husband and wife and their relationship. I'm not telling you who was Jules, but the girl's name was Jules, the woman's name was Jules, and I loved it. And I nicknamed her Jules because of that, because of the movie, Jewel of my eye, Jewel on my arm. Now you guys know. There you go. Carmen Mayer says, sorry, not sorry. My 11-year-old grandson taught a bully the meaning of fuck around and find out today. I'm very proud of him for standing for his friend. And as you should be, Carmen. That's one of the classic times to say something is to stand up for a friend. And it's one of my favorite Bible verses. John 15:13, greater love hath no man than this, than to give his life for a friend. So I'm glad that Carmen, I'm with you on that. I drank another one, but I just drank too many. So that some of the questions that we've gotten over the years was about that. And no, Gen X Mom did not like me in high school. Nobody liked me in high school. I was the leather jacket, fast car guy that was always getting into trouble. I shouldn't have been, but I was. Nobody would like me. I had friends who liked me, but they were just like me. It wasn't until years later that when my wife was wandering around the planet alone, she heard her head come out of her ass, and she went, ooh, where's that guy? And the rest is history. True story. All right, so there's a lot of things to consider about that. The emails have come in over the years about things like, whose channel is this? It's the kids, 100%. We all work for him. I mean, we all take our roles and we lead and follow in certain areas. But when the bottom line comes, the kid stands up and goes, this is my channel and you guys all work for me. He's not being arrogant. He's reminding us that this is his concept. It's his idea. We all contribute. We all probably carry a bigger load than he does. But in the end, this wouldn't even have been a thing without him. And he has been the common denominator through all of it. So he's not being an arrogant, pompous ass about it. He's just tapping everybody on the shoulder, reminding him, hey, man, this is like my thing. And it's true. It is his channel. It is his gig. Now, because he started this at 15, financially, it's his mother's channel. So if there's ever a donation that comes in, you know, it goes to her. We all have to wait. So I'm reading some of the stuff in here. Donna SpongeBob, can we see the tattoo? Not without giving away her name, Donna. Good Lord, woman. What are you thinking? So anyway, that's where we're at. Anyway, just so you guys know, this is an open line. If you guys had some questions you guys wanted to know, this is when you're supposed to ask it. If those are the best questions you can come up with, if those are the best answers. I know this was not the best live stream ever. I know a lot of people tuned out when they realized I wasn't going down my usual thing. But every now and then, especially when we're coming to the end of the year, if you guys wanted a history lesson of Gen X Talks, then it started out the kid, and then his mom got involved, and then they drugged me into it, and then it spawned to a point where hating the ambush videos, I can tolerate those because I get to hang out with you guys. I didn't know live streaming was a thing. I didn't know I could talk to my friends during the pandemic. when we couldn't go to bars. I know this isn't a real bar, but it's kind of like Josh Maddox says this is the best bar ever. And what he means by that is we know we're all not sitting around the same bar in the same place at the same time, but we're drinking together and we're talking. You guys are saying stuff, I'm responding. I'm saying stuff and you're responding. For as close as we can get under the circumstances, this is a good bar. It's my favorite bar. And GenXTalks wouldn't be anything without you guys. I know you guys love the short videos and the ambush shit where he makes me look like an asshole all the time. I get that. But it also gives a chance to put slices and 2-minute drills out where we get to say some stuff to the rest of the world on how Generation X thinks. We don't look at things as complicated as everybody else. We don't use charts and graphs and focus groups. We just look at something and go, yeah, fuck it. I don't care what you say. OJ killed his wife. We know. We know. We know the earth is round. We know we landed on the moon. I get all the conspiracy theories. I've read them all. But there's certain stuff that in our generation, we know to be true, and we just got to tell you. This gives us a chance to do some of that. And I'll tell you what, the number of emails of people that we've gotten from people where we've won people over on topics. I want to tell you, I'll bet in the last 3 years, 300 or more emails have come in with people saying, I'm leaving the Democratic Party. I can't do this anymore. Now, a lot of them went independent. They didn't have the stomach to go Republican. It's a 2-minute drill coming up, actually, on that. But I'm telling you that your guys' influence, my influence, this channel's, all of us collectively speaking on these things has swayed people. It's given them the chance to think about stuff differently. And people, some of the stuff that you guys say in the comments, some of the stuff that I say in here, it sticks with people for a long time. And in a good way, surprisingly. They're not coming down on us for stuff. You guys got to realize that the channel that he created as comedy has done so much more than that. And it wouldn't be any of those things without you guys participating. Facebook Marcy, how many laps around the pool today? All right, look, I did a bunch 2 days ago. I did one yesterday because I was so fucking sore I couldn't stand up. Today, I did 4 laps around the pool, but I also went in the garage and was working on stuff, and that about fucking killed me with the kid. Yeah, the big fat guy, it just about killed me doing that stuff. So just so you know, I'm not reneging. I fucking put in some time. I'm sore. I'm a sore motherfucker tonight for sure. And I think you should, Marcy, could you get your husband, Dr. McDreamy, to write me a prescription? We talked about how sex burns calories. We talked about the need for me to lose weight. If he could write me a prescription that I got to get some badonkadonk maybe 4 times a week, if it's a doctor's prescription, Gen X Mom's not going to say no. It's medical. It has to happen. This is a government-issued program, and we dare not say no. I'm just saying that would really help me. And I only want it for the purpose of losing weight, I assure you. That's all I'm asking for. So, listen, I guess we've gone about an hour and a half into tonight. I hope you guys got the answers that you wanted. I certainly thought we were going to divulge into a different direction, but nobody asked, so I didn't tell. I got to go. I wanted you guys to have a free night where you could ask some questions and do some stuff. You did with it what you wanted, and it wasn't as deep or as meaningful as I thought some of you were going to go, but we got what we got, and that's it. That's. I'm happy with the camaraderie. I'm happy to have a few drinks with you fine folks and continue on. Today is Tuesday, December 12th. We have a staff meeting tomorrow, which means we're off most of the day, but Thursday and Saturday are going to be 2 rip-roaring shows on the Bottom of Glass Nation. We got a lot accomplished. Marcy Zavala's interview. Remember, you guys are really into the podcast with my wife and I, but we're sprinkling in some interviews. They're not taking the place of our podcast, but if you don't have the links, somebody can put up the links. Just Google GenXTalks podcast link tree, and they all come up on all the platforms. All right, so pay attention. Marcy Zavala, that's the first of 3 big interviews, drops tonight around midnight. And that is the story. The only reason I did that interview, there's no product to sell you. There's no program for you to sign up to. There's not a checklist and a sheet that you can buy. No. I did this for one reason. My wife has been in pain for 10 years. We've tried everything. We've tried every snake oil you can buy. We've tried every program. We've tried every diet. You get a little bit of bits and helps and changes here and there. Nothing's really worked. We were told, you're just going to suffer. You're just going to be in pain. This is a byproduct of beating cancer. So we accepted it until Marcy Zavala came by. And she had some suggestions, and she had a program that she devised. She had something she does along with her medical doctor right by her side. What a dynamic duo that is. And I saw my wife change in 4 months to getting nights filled with sleep. She used to love to walk the neighborhood. She hasn't walked the neighborhood in 6 years. And now she's walking every single day and going further every week. That, to me, now I've seen a change. And I wanted to talk to Marcy. I wanted her to put it on tape. I want her to answer the questions so you guys could follow along with, I was skeptical, like, yeah, bullshit. Oh, this person I've known for a long time magically has the cure. No, they don't. No, she doesn't. I love Marcy, but there's no way she had the magic bullet. And she did. So I put it on tape. I interviewed her, asked the questions. Where did we start from? How did we get to here? Very simple, very down to earth, very common sense. She didn't overtalk it. I didn't undersell it. We just put it right where it was supposed to be. You guys, it drops at midnight. You got to check it out. It's worth a listen. Even if you're not interested in the technical side of it, it's worth a listen just to understand the changes that were made and what a difference. I'm looking at my wife going, holy shit, how did you get her to that point? She didn't pay me. I'm not paying her. There's no sponsorship here. This is just Generation X talking to Generation X. You know why? Because she figured some shit out. That's it. It's that simple. You guys want to listen? It's up to you. You guys want to do something about it? That's up to you too. All I'm doing is presenting something to you that I saw happen. It'd be like if I saw a UFO land. Wouldn't you guys want to know? All right. Marcy Zavala is the UFO in my life. She came down, shined a light down in my backyard, beamed my wife up, and brought her back a better person. All right? Does that help you out? Are we in the mysteries of the unknown? Do we got it now? Mystery Science Theater 3000? Okay, we unlocking unsolved mysteries here? Do you want me to have Spock narrate this for you? You want Leonard Nimoy to narrate this for you? Would that make it more real? Marcy said that Dr. Matrimi is on and he's writing a prescription. Thank God. Thank God in Greyhound. I'm going to get a little badonkadonk if the creek don't rise. Here we go. Listen, I got to get out of here. Thank you for tolerating a different type of program tonight. Thank you for troubling your way through it. It was a little bit interesting. You guys got to learn some stuff. I told you it was open kimono night. You guys could have asked anything you want. We did what we did. We said what we said. Thank you guys for tuning in. Wherever you're listening from, AM, FM, Sirius XM, or perhaps on the Armed Service Radio Network. Remember 3 things tonight. 1, wherever you go, there you are. 2, please thank your moderators for sticking this out. They love you guys. They work hard at what they're doing. And number 3, I'll catch you guys on the flip side.